Well, welcome everybody. Nice to see everybody here tonight. How's everybody doing?
Hey everybody, we're doing.
Yeah, Brian forgot to hit the go live button. Thank God I was paying attention.
Oh, I didn't hit it enough.
You got to hit it once. You got to go down and hit it the second time.
Oh.
So welcome everybody to Brian Barber's new show, Hidden Realms. So this is his introductory show. This is Grizzly and Mary with Justin Decker and the host, Brian Barber. So let's give some shout outs to everybody in the crowd. We got Leonard Waltus. Hello there, Roger. And we got Living Purpose Through God's Word, which is Mary. We got Midwest. Nice to see you out there. And everybody that started tuning in was Roger and everybody. Old Bear. What's up, brother? Nice to see you there. Welcome everybody that's tuning in. And we got Nada Decker. Hello, Nada. And good old Russell Easterbrooks. If you don't have his book, ladies and gentlemen, check it out. Make sure to check it out on Amazon and everybody. And we got Bigfoot Brian Barbershop streaming to his YouTube channel. And we'll give a shout out to Simply Spooky Network and Things Network and Japan's network too. We're broadcasting all across the world in 46 countries. So Brian, introduce yourself and tell us what you're doing.
Well, names on the screen. So Brian Barber, and grew up in Benzie County. And actually, I'm wearing a shirt that actually started.
That's right, Grizzly on the Hump, baby. What's up?
That's how this whole journey started. So I figured, what better way to do an introduction than to wear something and show that everything in life kind of evolves. You know, Grizzly on the Hunt is now Bigfoot Outlaw, and so
yeah, old Bear's like rookie mistake.
So, yeah. So it's how I got my start. Was, you know, I did one podcast that was called Hide and Seek Archives, and then you and Val were kind enough to have me on your show, and that's when things kind of really blew up for me as far as making the rounds and telling stories about peanut butter and Bigfoot poo in my refrigerator, and Elaine finding out live on chat that there was something in there. So Bigfoot's been a big part of my life, as most people know. Ever since back in the 70s, my grandma had one on her property. We weren't allowed to go in certain parts of the woods because, you had to worry about the Bigfoot. There weren't birds, there weren't squirrels or anything, hair raised up on your neck. We had all kinds of stuff happen out there. And then my first sighting was in 1987, just 2 miles down the road from there. So that was when Bigfoot really stepped out of fantasy into reality for me. But I didn't tell anybody about that for a very long time because, back in the 80s, there were a lot of things that weren't cool to talk about back then that you can get away with now. So,
right.
A whole new generation, right? Bigfoot's okay. And even, you get Dogman now, it's okay. We know the Titanic's in 2 pieces instead of 1. That kind of stuff. So, and once I started doing the podcast, I have fun doing it. It opened my eyes to a lot too once I started getting involved to the groups and stuff. And, as you mentioned in the show earlier, any lines I had drawn where this is as far as it goes and that's as far as it goes and this is all got erased. It's like which I like to turn hidden realms because there is so much behind the scenes that you don't see. What's really happening behind what people are seeing, what's really happening, what's going on with like TikTok and influencers and, how they're maintaining these images and what's the real backstory. So that's kind of what I want to do with this show is not, obviously Bigfoot and Dogman and cryptids are going to be a huge part because that's just part of who I am. But also some of this other stuff like the TikTok influencers.
Right.
I don't like to call them experts. Expert's a funny term for me anyway, just because of the fact that if I walked into a room with, and I'm just taking shots in the dark here with you and Justin, I'm probably going to be the expert on bodybuilding and supplementation.
Hey, did I not reach out to you?
Yes, you did. So that was why I threw it out there.
That is
now,
right.
I walk into a room with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Dorian Yates and Lee Haney. Who's the expert? You got a whole room full of which one's actually the expert. So I use that term loosely anyway.
Well,
the guy who, let's say, Joe Blow's got a AAA grade point average. Joey got by because he did a little nasty with the teacher, but still got his degree. You both got degrees, so which one's the expert? On paper we know, but so there are people who are more knowledgeable in the field. I just don't like the term expert.
Well, I just wanted to jump on here because it's your first show with the Bigfoot Outlaw family, and you earned the spot with our network. And Justin wanted to be a part of it too with Mary, because your integrity and everything and your honesty. We noticed that when you first came upon the Bigfoot world with Old Bear and everybody. And hello, Dirt Road. Nice to see you. And you earned a spot with me. And I told you before, I backed you and spoke highly of you. And when you had the opportunity, we talked about, you doing shows with us, but I also talked to you about having your own show like Justin and everybody else on our platform. And you got that moral compass. And when you was offered that, I told you, it's your show. You do what you want. Your topic is wide open. Have fun with it and build what you want. And I think you deserve it. And we welcome you to the family. And I think everybody else is going to be honored. And anytime that you need anything, Justin, I, or anybody for the family and the people in the audience is here for you too.
I was just, at first that didn't sink. We had that conversation a couple of months ago. And at first it didn't really sink in what you were offering me.
No, it didn't. You're just like, okay.
Yeah, I was like, okay, and then when we talked again recently, it was like, oh. And and actually I think with everything that I've had going on in my life, now's a better time anyway, because I put a lot more commitment to it. because like when I started the YouTube channel, I had all kinds of illusions of grandeur that I was going to be able to do this, and this, and then life kind of kicked me in between the legs with my health, and that just died. I mean, so, and I am much more driven when I know that I've got somebody counting on me. So, and hello everybody in chat, especially the ones I have trouble reading because bifocals drive me nuts.
Right.
I was actually just chatting with Old Bear before the show, trying to calm myself down after you and I had talked, and because I am doing some things to kind of experiment as a human guinea pig, and was talking to Old Bear about how quickly some of these changes have been made, and this experiment might get terminated pretty early because there's been some pretty scary results.
Wow. And we might as well go ahead and let it out of the bag too. You actually are doing another show on Saturday. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, so Star Fox Media Kenny, I'll butcher his last name, so I'm not going to go with it. We're going to do bedtime stories, which include Dogman and Bigfoot and all the things to give you, really pleasant dreams right before your head hits the pillow. So kind of watching Halloween or Nightmare on Elm Street before you go to bed.
Yeah, so Brian's going to be doing all this by himself, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to be hitting any buttons, and so bear with him. He is going to be a little yellow. No, we'll say green, and so
no, there's a streak on my back right now. I can tell you that.
But it's going to be great, and I mean, you're going to make mistakes like not hitting the live button twice and playing the intro. We're all backstage watching it. I'm like, I'm not going to mention Barb's name or anything. She's done it many times, so
yeah.
Where's the show at? And they're sitting there talking and already doing the interview. Look at Justin laughing.
Yeah.
Well, I was just going to say, don't go live and then turn it off again, because you will lose everything. I did that once, and we had to completely rebuild the show and re-put it out there. So once you hit that go live, you let it go until you know you're done. It's not the same as pausing it.
No,
it completely cuts
you
it
mess
down.
up all the networks.
I learned that one.
Everywhere I got it broadcasted. Old Bear says you need a guest. Hit him up. Look, you're already getting guest requests.
There we go.
Yeah, you're gonna have to get a calendar, little address book, calendar book to keep up with this, because you're gonna have a lot of requests as big as famous you are. And quit flexing your muscle. A little twist that's going nuts in the comments.
What? I'm not flexing.
Yeah, you did. You're doing this backstage.
I was not. Get out of here. Right now, in this stage, I'm like a piece of artwork to me.
Pepe Le Pew, Picasso.
Pretty much. What does an artist do when they're sculpting?
I see them every day in the gym, in the mirrors.
Yeah.
And I go by and I'm like, and they look at me like,
that's not a bodybuilder. That's a fitness fanatic looking for views that clicks on TikTok.
Yeah, right.
Bodybuilder is an artist. You're trying to sculpt the perfect physique. And what does an artist do? They don't show that off until the day it's done.
Welcome, Jeff, to the show. Nice to have you, Jeff. I'm glad you joined us. This is Brian's first show. He's the host. Speaking of things, look at Justin Decker's hat. My Lord. Where'd you get that hat at?
Ooh. The company's called Connor. It's my new hat. I just got it. It's called the High End Sierra. It's going to be my dress hat for when I want to look sharp. My other one was starting to get a little faded and beat up and wore out, so I had to get a new one to dress up for church and whatnot.
It looks like that one Conice wore with.
It does, doesn't it? I got to get my beard shaved.
Yeah, kind of.
It's getting like real. So, anyways.
Yeah, I went in and just got rid of the Wolverine hair, and Halloween's over, so we'll save that for the weekend.
And look, little Twisted said she would sleep so much better with the flex.
No flex. That's not happening.
when last time you were on there, you're showing the guns, and we couldn't even talk about any subjects. All the women were going nuts.
I was way more embarrassed than I even care to admit about
what
that.
What are you blushing for? Look at you. You're turning red.
I know. Look at him.
I get a lot of people that.
Old Bear says, I'm proud of my physique, the grandpa body. Hey, grandpa bodies are sexy. I ain't going to lie.
Well, and if anybody.
Sonny, I'm shaggy. It wasn't me.
And actually, I try to say this without sounding arrogant or conceited, because I'm in the best shape now that I've ever been. And I'm going to go into that on one of the hidden realms, because I want to destroy some of these fitnessness that just need to die. I mean, because I guarantee I spend less time in the gym than you do doing cardio to attain.
Really? Yeah. I do. I try to do at least a mile on the treadmill. A half mile if I'm busy.
If I'm in there more than 40 minutes, it's because I did cardio.
So, right.
It's a leg day. And I told you today, when you messaged me, I was literally laying on the floor wondering if my legs were going to get me to the bathroom in case I had to relieve that power drink I had before the workout.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, I've done that before, laying there hoping your legs are going to work so you can get to the bathroom. That's about where I'm at.
Yeah. Look, you got a little twisted turn in the damn chat room.
I got one fan. Thank you.
Oh my Lord, you all crack me up. So just make sure when you're doing the shows, make sure you click on the chats like I'm doing. So
that's what I'm just watching how to do this.
Yeah, just click on the name, just like I'm doing. Yeah, try it out. There you go.
Yeah.
Oh, you're not supposed
and
to.
What I like, Brian, is the star feature. So when somebody has a question and you can't get to it because you're talking your presentation, you hit that star button, and then it has another section for star chats, and you can pull it up later and you can reference back without having to scroll through and look for it.
I was wondering how we were going to handle questions, because I see you type them in caps, but I didn't know there was the
And that's up to you.
In any shape or form. I know what he can do. Just because I'm big don't mean I'm bad.
No, he'll do the damn Three Stooges. He'll be thumb wrestling. He'll poke you in the eyes or something. I'm afraid to read what little twist it's going to say. Be sure and touch mine, Brian. I knew it.
My cheeks are going to burn from the blood flow here.
Well, I think little Twisted got into the catnip tonight.
I think she's got herself a little twisted.
I know it, right?
We're going to need it. We're going to need a tow truck.
Old Bear says I can't even read it. For the audio listeners on Apple, Spotify, and iHeart, Old Bear says my eye poke is my secret. Where's Dirt Road at? He was in here a minute ago. Russell Easterbrook's in here, and I see you, Russell. I'm afraid to read this. I'm a diehard fan, Brian. Uh-oh.
Thank you.
What does that mean, Brian?
Well, season for a ride, because it's going to be a fun journey. Because
oh my Lord, don't scratch her back. We don't need her just being in heat. Griff says, Justin, I've been purchasing a couple of books since last night. Ooh, I want to know.
All right.
What books?
I recommended the books.
Twisted's probably looking for my yearbooks.
Brian. So
on my show, we're going through a chapter on Nephilim and stuff, and I made some recommendations for some books to dig deeper. So I'm assuming that's what Griff's talking about.
Oh.
You did it now. You better get used to this. For the audio listeners, little twist that says, I'm strapping on spurs.
Maybe instead of a fan in the background, I need a pole.
Brian, you're gonna get rich. Twisted.
Just Griff. Oh my gosh.
Freezer. Yeah. You still got it in the freezer.
Mentality behind this.
Yeah. Old Bear says he just got body blushed. Little Twisted's got bad mental pictures right now. Oh my Lord.
I am shy when it comes to physique. Like when you see pictures of me in a tank top, I put the tank top on.
You're fueling the fire. What the hell? You're giving them mental pictures.
Come on, Brian. Let's show us. Come on.
Might as well.
No, I want to see it.
No guns.
Here we go.
Oh, come on, Brian.
Come on.
Woo!
There you go.
I think little Twisted just fell out.
You're welcome.
You want here? The side chest is always the best. So if you want to get that.
Dang.
What the hell? What kind of corn you eating?
That's when you get those 21-inch arms. That looks good.
Oh my God! Look, for the love of God, I knew she's gonna put that.
You're welcome, Twisted. We want to keep you happy.
Poor Joey's done. I love it. Old Bear says, Grizz, we gotta get bait for the string for Brian. Yeah, we sure do. I'm gonna load his tent down with peanut butter. So,
yeah. Well, that was if you want to talk serious for a few minutes, doing a body.
We can't now. You done flex.
Huh? Yeah, there's a lot of behind the scenes when you start getting ready for a show. So.
Oh Lord, have mercy. A little Twisted, man. Oh my Lord. We're going to start you a subscription base right out of the gate.
Well, you know what's going to be the hardest part for me? It won't be the training. The dieting will suck. But getting up on stage in that marble sack and dental floss is going to be the worst part.
You're killing little Twisted.
That's about all those guys wear when they get on stage. Is you got a marble sack and some dental floss, and
oh my God, look at her! What she's saying? Got to be a fun ride. Oh my Lord, man! You know what? For the owners of all these channels we're broadcasting on, I'm sorry, I didn't know he's going to talk about dental floss. Old Bear. Hey, look, Old Bear's dental floss. Oh, Bear, don't he give you a demonstration?
No.
Think of a Speedo, but look at Justin. He's like,
yeah,
right? You starting the Ollie's fan?
Banana hammock if you want to go that route. That's the
Great smuggler.
Hey, Evie's in here. Welcome, Evie, to the show. Nice to see you there.
Well, good thing you missed all the earlier stuff. He watches his replay. I'm screwed.
Oh my God. I'm gonna die. Oh, okay.
You thought the Bigfoot turd was bad. Wait till this hits the air.
Oh my God. That was funny. I never forget when you were showing that on the air, and she was like, "Hey, that's in my freezer."
I know, and I'm watching it come up live on the screen and getting it in my ear.
That was funny. Oh, hello, Evie. Welcome to the show. That was, man. We should have cut that and looped that. That was funny. Oh, Bear, I got a surprise for you camp out. I think I'm going to wear my thong when I come out of the tent in the morning, get my coffee.
Well, heck, really give him a surprise and wear it backwards.
Really? What the hell, Brian? Shut the front door. She said, "Oh, Lord, what did I just get myself into? You got to go back and watch it. It's funnier than hell." Brian was dancing.
No, dude.
Oh my God!
You might want to go back to watching Tucker Carlson. This is priority.
Why you listening? So Bigfoot. So
Rebecca's not even.
I know, right? We need it. So we
do have a couple. We got Barb coming up on December 6th, and the one I'm looking for, and Old Bear now at some point. I got a pretty special guy coming on close to the end of the month, Randy Katara. If you remember Randy, he hasn't done an interview in quite a few years now.
Oh, that's right. He hasn't, has he?
No. And he's got a podcast the 22nd, and he's going to come on after that. So pretty excited to get Randy on and get his whole story out there for those who haven't heard it.
It is a story, ladies and gentlemen, that is so far-fetched, that is unimaginable, that the government was involved, the national tribe, Indian tribe was involved. It is the state police was. It's just crazy.
It's still ongoing.
And it really happened.
And he's still dealing with.
Yeah, he's got PTSD and everything from it.
Yeah. So Randy is a really good friend. You know, we met through Val's Facebook, and he and I got really close. He did a video on me, and ever since then we chat every day. So the fact that he got burned the way he did on a couple of the podcasts, that he's actually going to come on and come back out a little bit, really warms my heart that he's coming on. And Chris Hensley, when he's feeling a little better, is ready to come back and chat a little bit. You know, first go out to him for the loss of his wife.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, we got things starting to line up. I'm actually going to have to calendar and get organized. And
yeah, and one, ladies and gentlemen, the one story that Brian's talking about is a juvenile Sasquatch that actually was shot and killed. And the neighbors performed an autopsy on it, and I'll leave it at that. But you must tune in for that. It's a devastating story, and yeah, I'll tune in for it.
Yeah, there's a lot of emotion tied to that story. You know, and like I said, it's ramifications still to this day that are happening. And that was back in the 70s. So
yeah, it's pretty wild. So yeah, absolutely. The good thing is it's your show, and like I said, it's whether it's Bigfoot, Dogman, paranormal. Yeah, it's Sunny and a little twisted. It's we actually aired the story. What was it, last year or the year before last, Brian? I can't remember. It's been a while.
Year before. He hasn't done an interview in over a year. So
yeah, and the story, the actual encounter, it's mind blowing, and I'm not going to release any more information because you really need to hear it from him. And he has a hard time telling the encounter because we'll just stop there and let him tell the story. So make sure we'll advertise it for Brian and get it out there. So
what I can tell you is I've watched a couple videos where he was interviewed, and that guy asked him the same question probably 6 different ways in order to trip Randy up, and it never happened. So
now, I mean, when he was in Arkansas, he actually was telling the truth, and Sonny wants to know what day. Did you already have him scheduled on an actual day, or is it not penciled in yet?
We don't have a solid date yet. He's got some health issues. I know it'll be around the 22nd. We're hoping he's feeling better by that. We'll make
sure and advertise it, and the title will speak for itself when it is. And what's his name again, Brian?
Randy.
So we'll make sure and have Randy in the title and a brief little description of everything.
Yeah, it was actually pretty cool.
I think Sonny's wanting to know if this show is going to be on a specific day and time. Like, you know, Fridays at 9 kind of a thing.
Yeah, Brian is going to be on every Friday at 9:00 p.m. Eastern time. You won't see me on the show. I just came on with Justin to welcome him on and introduce him. and get him familiar with the buttons because he's going to broadcast everything on his own.
Yeah, learn to stand on these size 15 feet. So
15. Damn, Justin, what size shoe do you wear?
Not even close to that, I tell you what.
Well, that's why when I send those Bigfoot pictures out, I got to tell people that's a size 15 foot blueprint next to that track.
Old Bear wants the 29th.
In.
So that's why I'm saying you're going to get a pen and paper. Yeah. Just be prepared. It's going to start rolling in.
Oh, yeah.
Joey,
I do a 10.5 wide.
So Russell Easterbrook says, what did you like about my book? I like the history and everything about it. I like how you went from a different perspective about Bigfoot from the other books that are on the market for all the years that I've read. The history part of it, especially when you travel out west, that's what I really liked about it.
Yeah, that was what I like, was actual historical accounts.
Yeah, when he first was, right before he published it, and he was giving us a little information about it, it made you stop and think about stuff that you really didn't think about that other books have. So that's one thing I liked about it. A little Twisted said her birthday's on the 15th.
Is that a show date?
I have no idea.
Is.
Shaking his head.
Oh boy.
So look, you're getting
1 week
requests
from today.
That's right. Please hit the like button. Thank you, Evie. Yes, that really helps us out. But yeah, and Brian will have his banner set up before the next show with his contact information, so you can get a hold of him to get scheduled for shows and everything.
Yeah, until I get that up, if you want, just look me up on Facebook.
And what's your email address they can email you to?
What's that?
What's your email address they can email you to?
Barbershop Bigfoot 70 at gmail.com.
Barbershop 70 at gmail.com, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure and write that down. And we'll have it on a ticker down at the bottom. We'll get them all fixed up. So,
yeah, we'll do everything we can to make.
And a little Twisted wants your phone number and your address, I think.
And a bag of catnip.
Bag of catnip. And earlier she was asking for your OnlyFans page. So,
oh Lord! Oh, birthday is Monday for Griff. Well, happy early birthday, Griff. Happy early birthday.
Address is 0 degrees latitude, longitude, and there's a big red and white pole. It says Mr. Claus right underneath.
There you go.
So, with you having your own show now, what does it mean to you to be able to communicate with people and to get information out?
The best part I like about this is going to be the interaction, not only to get what I've learned out, but also get much better at reading the chat while I'm doing this and taking questions and trying to answer questions they have. And not only that, maybe they've got questions I haven't answered myself yet and thought about. So I'm really looking forward to an exchange of information. And if people have a topic they want me to look into, well, I would like to do maybe once a month or once every 6 weeks, just put like a little poll up with 3 topics and say, hey, pick out of these 3 and we'll deep dive it. Because there's people in here with so much information on so many topics when I watch the chat. I mean, Sunny, Little Twisted, Old Bear, Standing Stones.
Russell.
So much information out there that, unless they're on a show or in the chat, you don't get to hear. Unless they're good enough like Russell to write a book or Old Bear with a channel. But I mean, some of the stuff Sonny's put up's been amazing. Griff, looks like Icebox is back, with their show. And plus, I am going to go off cryptic topics, because there are some things that really, really bother me.
Well, the good thing I like about Brian, ladies and gentlemen, is that he's not judgmental. He's got an open mind, and he's willing to listen to everybody's encounters and to take notes and learn. That's one thing that appealed to me about having an opportunity to have his own show. And he's not arrogant or anything like that. And Brian's very humble to me, just like Justin and everybody else is. And that means a lot to me. And I think that means a lot to the viewers. What's your take, Justin?
Well, with Brian, he's thirsty. He wants to know. But he's not willing to just take anything and everything. He wants to make sure what he's learning is the truth and what's really going on. And that always impresses me. I always say you got to have an open mind, but not so open your brain falls out, and that really kind of personifies Brian right there. Like, he's open. He wants to learn. He's not arrogant. Like he said, he's not an expert. He knows what he knows, and he knows there's a lot he doesn't know, and he's open to learning more. And that's key for all of us. As much as I've been studying the past 30 some years, there's so much more that I don't know that I want to learn, but like you said, you can find your direction by other people. They can give you ideas and subjects to look at and directions to go that you never would have thought for yourself.
Right.
And I think that's fantastic. And you're open that way. And I think that's really important for everybody.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's why I've stayed with physical fitness for so long. I started working out at the age of 14. Started working at a gym at the age of 16. So since 1986, I've been working in the fitness industry, and it's always changing. Anytime, and that's why some of these certified trainers think they know everything. It's like, you better move on to another profession, because you're not understanding that there is bro science involved, and bro science does work. Where do you think the science is catching up to bro science as far as fitness is concerned? And I always, no matter what I know, even with we're at 40 years now. It'll be 40 years in 3 weeks that I've been working out. There's still stuff to learn. I never think you got a bad shoulder, oh, I can fix it. No, let's look at everything behind it. What injury do you have? What can you do? What can't you do? Let's look and see if there's any more research that's come out that can make me help heal you faster. Look how far supplements have come. I mean, when I first started, wheat or protein powder, holy crap, you needed a cement mixer and a hammer to try to even get that into chunks, let alone mix it in the water. And now they come, and the absorption was absolute crap. You got about 10% out of it, and now you've got isotope whey protein that's 99% bioavailable. It's an easy way to suck up protein. And I'm the same way with any topic I kind of bite my teeth into. Titanic. My very first book report was on Titanic. I didn't think I knew everything, back then. I even drew it. I had to draw pictures, and I drew it sinking in one piece. And then in 1986, we found out, it's in two pieces. But at the same time, I don't like to try to talk over people's heads either. I like to talk to people. I don't like to talk at them. To talk with them would be a better term. I don't want to talk to you. I want to talk with you. Exchange of information.
Right, absolutely. And that's one of the things that I looked at, and I think, and Justin knows how I roll and how I communicate in what I look for in people to have on the show to broadcast. And we all are very humble and so forth. So we're all excited, and we're just glad to have you a part of it. And I think you're a good fit, and I think it's going to be great for the audience. Because you're going to bring not only that, but different topics. And I think you're also going to help the people that don't have a lot of knowledge. And I think it's going to be a good outlook for other people to be a space that's safe to come and share their encounters and stories and be a part of the family and a part of your family that you're going to start and grow on your own as well.
And I'm just overwhelmed at the opportunity to do this. I mean, because watching the show alone has opened my eyes to so much. I don't have any lines in the sand anymore. My beach is wide open to water.
Right.
Lines. So if somebody says Bigfoot walked out of a portal, who am I to say it didn't happen? There's when too many things happen, there's something to it. You can't draw a line just because you believe that's the end of the story. There's always an epilogue to that story.
No, absolutely. Just like we had Ronald Murphy on earlier, with all of his knowledge, Justin's knowledge, and everybody else that comes through, you got to stop and think. Just on our network alone, we probably had over 1,384 interviews. That's shows. And let me stand corrected. That's not interviews, that's shows. That's counting interviews. That's not counting the people that we talk to and interview on the side and we speak with encounters. So as you talk to people and you have these friendships and bonds with people, they share knowledge. And that to me is such a treasure grove because they teach you, you share knowledge. And I mean, you look at the people that I know and we know together as a totality, and I share knowledge with them. They're like, Grizzly, I didn't know that. And I'm in the film business, right? And I'm filming Bigfoot documentaries. I didn't know all that stuff. And it's just because we help each other. It's not we're trying to hide stuff from everybody. Well, hey, Squatch Talk, nice to have you. Thoughts on how many Bigfoot there are in North America? To be honest, people have tried to put a number on that. I have no idea. People have tried to put 3,000, 5,000, 8,000. I've seen up to 15 or 16,000. I have no idea.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like you can track it like we can track a deer of herd or herd of deer, or we can track buffalo or animals like that. It's just you can't track them. Justin, what's your thoughts on it?
No, I'm the same way. I've never even tried to put a number on it because there's literally no way to know. We don't have enough data. And if you guys know me, listen to my show, I'm all about the data behind stuff. Like, what are the numbers showing? There's no way for us to have enough data. I mean, we can go, obviously we have to have a breeding population, right? We know that, but we don't know their diversity. We don't know what biomes they can survive successfully in. We don't know the sightings that are them traversing areas or if they're in a home territory. We don't know the size of their clans, how many babies they can have. We just don't have enough information to hazard a number guess, other than the fact that there has to be a surviving breeding population. So we know it's got to be at least a couple hundred, right? But at the same time, there is enough of them that they're seen all across the country. I don't see any way we can truly put a number on it.
No, you're right. And, one of the things people try to do is they try to go by sightings. Well, that's inaccurate, right? Another thing, people, it's not like you can say, okay, in 20 square miles, that's how many acres that could hold X amount of deer population because of the food that's available, right? We don't know. Just like Justin's saying, the data's not there. But that is a very good question. He also says there has to be a ballpark number. It can't be a million. They're just disconnected from each other. Squatch Talk, I don't know. Like I said, I've gave you some numbers. I've seen them all the way up to 16,000. So that I don't know. I have no idea. But that is a good question. Doug Hijack is trying different types of ways to track with Bigfoot. Sonny, there's been what's that Bigfoot documentary? They had that one that sticks to it. It's like a thistle that they used. They tied it to trees, and one of the Bigfoots got attached to it, and they thought it was a bear, and they found it on the ground. Expedition Bigfoot. They used that. Remember the tracker? Mm-hmm. Hello, Bigfoot researchers. Hello, Tim and Renee. So,
There's a lot of ways that biologists do an estimate on it. You know what I mean? But that's with known animals. That's with known data. They have the data sets to understand and be able to make those calculations. They know average range of the species. They know average caloric intake. They know their lifestyles, how big family groups are, right? You have that data. You can estimate, you can have X amount of population of deer on X amount of land, and we just don't have those data points. I know there's ways of estimating by how many footprints you find in a certain area, all these things like that. But again, those are estimates, and we just don't have those data sets when it comes to Bigfoot.
Well, and that's why there's hunting seasons for different types of animals, is because they're overpopulated. So Russell says, how many calories do you think Bigfoot needs? That I have no idea. I have no clue.
No, because you'd have to know how their digestion works to begin with. Look at how slow the gorillas digest. Yet they're 400 pounds of muscle, but they don't require the amount of protein that you or I do to maintain it. So
that is a good way to answer that. And I was wanting to see how one of y'all was going to answer it that way, because I know how gorillas digest it for work. So that's fantastic.
Well, that's two different things, though. You're talking about digestive efficiency, which would help dictate what they can eat and how much of it they need to eat versus how many calories their body needs. I've seen estimates upwards of 20 to 30,000 for an average female, and then higher for a male. But again, those are all based on large assumptions, right?
That is correct.
Like huge assumptions on weight and size and structure. And we don't know their habits. So we don't know if they sit around a half the day like gorillas do, right? So if they're sitting in periods of rest throughout the day, they're going to have less of a caloric need. If they're constantly moving and constantly searching for food, they're going to have a higher need, right? So again, those are all things that we don't know of their daily habits. We can guess and we can estimate, but we're not going to know until we have much more data points.
Yeah, and if you want to deep dive that way, then you got to know muscle mass as well, because muscle consumes more calories than body fat. I require about 300 grams of protein in order for me to grow, where somebody who's sitting around the house weighs 180 pounds might only need 100 to be fine. So
Old Bear fires shots across her bow. Better question is, what can't they eat?
Well, the ones around here won't touch it.
Won't touch it what?
I tried a honey bun. Nobody touched it. So maybe honey bun is not on their to-do list.
And seen some of them in some places eat the heck out of them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I hear a lot. See a lot of them. Wasn't it Jason Kenzie that filmed the donut box where they opened it?
With Greg Yost.
Yeah. I didn't get him to touch a whole lot of sweets up here, but
my question is, Justin, do you like broccoli for breakfast every morning?
Not every morning, no, just some mornings.
All right, there you go. So there are so many, and he asked some good questions. The thing is that everything that we know are hypothetical, because we don't have a body that we can harvest and look in the stomach for content to see what they're eating. We can't confirm the scat that
we can tell
Bigfoot.
We can tell the kind of stuff they're eating, but there's a difference between the kind of stuff they can eat. But is it regional? Is it seasonal? Is it, you know what I mean? Because we know they're opportunistic omnivores, so we know they dig through garbage dumpsters looking for food. We got reports of that. We know that they will hunt animals. We've got reports of that. So there's stuff we do know, right? We do have data points, but we can't extrapolate it yet because we don't have a lot of the information that we would need. So we know they eat almost anything that they can get their hands on, just because of the report. Right, well, feed, all that stuff.
And the other thing is,
and we know that they can target. I'm sorry, they target organs in ungulates and deer and elk. I mean, that's been a thing that has been discovered, especially in the higher elevations and in winter. They will target those iron-rich and fatty-rich organs. And so there's an understanding of what they need in different types of seasons. But we can't necessarily extrapolate that to a whole encompassing idea of how many calories they need or all this kind of stuff, you know. So we can know a lot of information without having all this or knowing specific numbers and all that kind of stuff. So I don't want people to get the idea that we don't know, because there's a lot of information out there. We just you can't extrapolate what people want to know sometimes.
Ohio Bigfoot research, why are you comparing them with apes? They're more humans compared with some information than an ape.
That was just an example that different animals require different digestion, have different digestive tracts, length,
right?
Rates.
Absolutely. Question: does anyone ever witness Bigfoot gifting food? They've taken shakes off Ron's truck while he turned around and turned back around. People have gifting stations. They leave apples, all kinds of stuff. So, and the next question is going to be, why don't we have pictures and videos? We're just not going to talk about that discussion. Salmon, people gift fish. People gift whole fish. So,
they actually
and people watch them. There are people that see them take them. You know, this isn't happening in a vacuum. People make that mistake a lot.
Yeah, and EV lived in Benzie County for a little while, and right when the salmon run, at night, you can get some really cool recordings by the river. When the salmon are running, you'll hear a bunch of Bigfoot calls.
Wow. Interesting.
So be a buffet to them here, because, I mean, we have a fish hatchery, and, you know, I forget how many different parts of the country that we send salmon to and trout. And so the salmon run very thick up here. And there's a lady by the name of Elizabeth who lives on the Platte River, and she sent me some pretty cool recordings that between about 2 and 4, because you get your late fishermen that aren't supposed to be out there, but, you know, we still do it. So about between 2 and 4 a.m., you get out there and you can hear a bunch of splashing, and you can hear some, you know, whoops and whistles, but then that's the only time she hears it during the year. It's because she lives right on the Platte River. That's the only time she hears it, salmon season.
Squatch Talk says, wouldn't it be easy to ambush them if that was true? I've tried to ambush deer, turkey, all kinds of wild game, and I've never had any good luck.
I want to know what they mean by if that was true. What specifically are you talking about? And then I can give an answer for you. If what was true.
I was
so if you can throw that in there for us.
I was thinking, clarify that. That'd be awesome. We'll wait for that before we wrap up.
Joey says they love peanut butter. You know, I hear a lot of stories about peanut butter. And the reason people like to use peanut butter is because it's a jar and you have to have hands to manipulate it open. And it's not something that raccoons could do, or possums could do, or deer could do, or bear can, but you can tell because they're going to use their teeth. And then, you know, you hear people that say they see the finger scoops from where they reach in and they scoop out, and then they leave half the container behind. So peanut butter is kind of a fun one to experiment with if you have a site where you can do that with.
Yeah, just use the big jars, because raccoons can run with a 2-pound one. I got a couple of videos of that.
Right, they can run with them, but they can't open them.
If that were true, that people know exactly where Bigfoot is. Well, I mean, I know where Bigfoot is, but they're not there all the time. That's the thing.
Yeah, I know where there's a bunch of bears. You don't walk up on them.
I don't know if you know about my background at all. I was born and raised in the Amazon jungle for the first 10 years of my life. And I lived with indigenous tribes in the Amazon. And the truth is, they're so stealthy. They know their environment. I'm talking about the indigenous people, not the Bigfoot at this point. but they could literally be 5 feet away from you and you would never know they were there. They're literally masters of their environment because they have to be. Their survival depends on it. And so I take that knowledge and extrapolate over to the Bigfoot. And if we add in senses that we believe they have, higher sense of smell and vision and hearing, you're not going to ambush them. It'd be a very rare circumstance. Not saying it can't happen, because sometimes you can get that perfect storm. But the idea of thinking you're going to ambush them, that they're not going to know you're there, I think it is just kind of a pipe dream. I don't think that's really something that's going to really produce for somebody. You can lure them in,
walked up on
stuff
them.
like that. Right. Like I said, you can have a perfect storm, but there's a difference between walking up on one and you trying to set an ambush for one. You know what I mean? You can surprise them if you're coming up quiet, the wind's blowing the right way and different stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Right.
But it's not something that you're going to be able to necessarily set up a blind that they're not going to know is there. You know, if you're a deer hunter or you're a bear hunter, you know, you have to take specific precautions.
Oh,
you know?
Okay. I apologize.
And
I misinterpreted.
Yeah.
He says, no, it would be easy to find and observe them if you knew where they were. I apologize. I misinterpreted.
Well, yeah, if you knew where they were and if you knew how to set it up, it might be. But if you go to a gorilla preserve in Africa, they'll even tell you they can't always find the gorillas or the chimpanzees in their territory. They know where they are. They know where they hang out. But if you have a group out there, you got some scientists out there, it might take them a week to find where the troop is. And that's a known troop where they have names and numbers and habits and all this kind of stuff. You know what I mean? So,
right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a difference between learning the Bigfoot in your area, learning their habits, because I know of people that have studied their land for years and have learned some of the patterns and habits, and so they can kind of identify them. But that's not the same thing as setting up an ambush for them. You know, so it really kind of depends on what you're looking at. And there are some people that can get out there and regularly observe them. But think of it this way: if they have heightened senses, they don't need to be in as close of contact with each other as humans do, right? So they could potentially be 50 yards away from each other in the woods and communicate with each other just like me and Grizzly sitting across the table from each other. So that's one thing we don't think about as a species, is we have to be within a certain range. Yeah. That range for them might be so much bigger. And so us being within 20 feet of them, us being within 20 feet of them might be the same as me getting up 2 inches from Grizzly's face. It might be offensive to them. We don't know. And we have to account for those kinds of things. We can't assume their structure is just like us.
Yeah, Squatch Talk, I would love to get into the drones. Absolutely. I would love to get into the drones. The one I was looking at was $13,000. So, yeah.
No, Squatch Talk, I'll tell you the same thing I tell everybody else, man. Do it. Do it. You have an idea, you have a theory, test it out. Go for it, man. That's what we need. If you think this is how to get it done, nobody's tried it, get out and do it. Absolutely. I support you all the way. And I'm not being facetious. I'm not being like, oh, whatever, do it yourself. I'm saying if you have a technique that you think is going to work, try it. It might be the one that breaks this thing wide open. You know?
Hi, Mom.
No, right. Just showed up to the stage, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh.
Hey, Mama. What's happening? Hey, Mom. Welcome to the show.
Okay, Mom.
Hey, he's doing wonderful. Hey, now he's really turning red. Look at this. Hey, Mama. I'm doing good.
There you go. I'm glad Mama wasn't here for the first part of the show.
She would there'd have been a lot of laughing emojis on that. My mom, that's where I get my sense of humor. So my dad was very dry. My mom worked, waitress and bartender and owned a bar for many, many years. So that's where I learned a lot of respect for women, because my mom turned around one night and went to break up a fight between two big guys. The guy came back and hit her in the mouth, so she took a 3-inch heel off her foot and hit him right between the eyes and laid him out. So
vulgar? No, he wasn't. Mama,
No,
Mama, he was not being vulgar. Not on my
Mom. Not honest. I didn't.
We just got him blushing real good. That's all.
Yeah, that's all. Yeah,
we just got him blushing real good.
At a damn tow truck. So yeah. So Brian, this is where we say it's been a great show, and Justin, it's been an honor. And usually we say, ladies and gentlemen, have a great night, and tune in for what show tomorrow?
Stories at bedtime.
And what time is that?
8:30.
What time zone?
Eastern.
AM,
so,
PM?
PM. 8:30 PM Eastern. Was that 5:30 California time?
Yes, 3 hours difference.
There you go.
And then we say from coast to coast, around the world, everybody. Yeah.
Around the world. And everybody have a great night. And thank you all for being here. I can't appreciate the support enough.